Punisher issue 7 sees the Punisher disguised chameleon firebomb a car before being surrounded by a group of Hydra soldiers, who for the watching security cameras pretend to beat him up. In Begalia prison, Frank is confronted by Sister Mercedes, whom asks Frank to walk with her and tell her about himself. Frank, however, refuses to say anything. It doesn't matter since the nun knows everything about Frank, saying she believes in rebirth, something that can happen with Frank. The nun reveals that Frank didn't become the Punisher in Central Park the day his family was killed, but was born the Punisher before that on a battlefield that Mercedes was on in Venezuela in the 80s, where Frank killed his way through the opium fields of the village the nun was doing missionary work at. Mercedes wants Frank to realize that the violence he creates does nothing more than create more violence. Frank doesn't see it that way, taking his leave. Later in the yard, Frank goes to help another inmate being beaten by the guards, and despite Sister Mercedes' warnings, Frank confronts the guard, who threatens him with the nearby sniper and his stun baton. Frank doesn't care, beating them and making one of the men eat the baton. As more guards arrive, Frank gives up, receiving a hit on the face for his insolence. Later he awakens in his cell, where more guards enter and look to beat him. Frank doesn't let that happen, beating one of the guards and biting his ear off. The guard threatens him with a knife, but is then killed by Taskmaster, who says that Zemo's plan means that Frank needs to be left alive. Because of this, he's been sent back to general population to finish up his sentence. Back in the normal prison, Frank meets with the nun again, who again tells him his violence begets other violence, and maybe there is a lesson he could take from all of the beatings he has had. Soon a guard comes and hits the nun for talking. Frank intervenes, and the guard says that he could kill the nun, or Frank can take the beating that will make him wish he was dead. Frank decides to take the beating, and is hit until he's unconscious. Frank later awakens in a hospital bed with the nun watching over him. Mercedes tells him that his brain swelled and it required surgery to stop it from killing him, and Zemo was sparing no expense in keeping him alive, which is why the guards that beat him were killed. The nun says that this isn't the way she wanted Frank to learn his lesson about violence, but God moves in mysterious ways. Frank calls God predictable, but the nun finds him brave to be teasing God from a hospital bed. She hopes Frank has the understanding now that killing a guard serves no purpose. Frank does agree, and the nun says that now they can begin the Lord's work together, starting with Frank helping her take control of the prison. The Punisher issue 7 continues Frank's violent time in prison as the anti-hero learns that maybe violence 24/7 isn't the right answer. I enjoy Matthew Rosenberg looking deep into the root of Frank's violence, and I love how it relates back to old Punisher stories, connecting Frank to this nun who is taking him under her wing. I'm looking forward to seeing how Frank will evolve his methods now and how he and the nun are teaming up to take over the prison. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my newest video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like to check out my other reviews here on my channel. You can also follow me on various social media platforms like Twitter by searching Matt_FOS, or even join the Comic Multiverse Discord server and chat with other comic book fans, including myself and Joel from Cape Joel. Want cheap comics and trades? Head over to the book depository with the link in the description to get the cheapest trades and comics around, along with free shipping anywhere in the world. Until next time, this has been Matt of the Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much for watching.